Hey everybody. You know, we have to stay above the chaos and stand in our own power, in our balance. It's truly important to do this, especially right now. Shift is about to hit the fan. It's already started, but nothing compared to what's coming. And we need to remain our true selves, maintain our balance, and stand above the chaos that is coming our way. So I thought today we'd do some shaking. I didn't set my camera up ahead of time for this, but hey, let's give it a shot. See, right now I gotta drop my legs a little bit here, but we're going into some very serious times, some very serious issues lately, or right now. So we're gonna shake things off. All the stuff that's coming in on the media, all the stuff that you're seeing and what's happening around us is being created by those who want to control us. And it's our job to work from here and be an observer before we allow it to come into our body and how we're going to feel about it when it gets there. This is extremely important, extremely important. And don't be afraid to shake. Shake it all off. Deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Some things here, obviously, that I want to go over. Okay? Every day we walk through life's living. Let's just back up here a little bit. Every day we walk through life's processes. It's incredible balance, and what's pulled it off in center is mankind itself. It's based on greed, and we can't base things on greed. And something else I wanted to cover, and I didn't get to do this in the last video, but our pineal gland, see, we call it the third eye, and these are our eyes. Well, there are tribes, ancient tribes, that still exist today. They call this the first eye, and these the second eye. And it came to me the other night during one of my meditations why that is, why that is. Because our aura, our field of emotion, right? Information, the pineal gland sends out vibration, and it pulls in vibration. And when it pulls vibration into us, it creates the lens that we see through, because it's being created through the pineal gland. And that's why many tribes call it the first eye, and these are our second eyes. Because this is coloring the lens of our reality. And that is what is being projected onto our aura and is reflecting back to us. So I can't tell you how important it is to understand that one little tiny thing. It is the field. It is creating it. And as I said yesterday, in yesterday's video, to get beyond that mirror image of our life, which is completely consumes us, right? It's like a little bubble, a little egg, and we're inside it, and it's reflecting back to us everything we hear, see, taste, touch, and feel. That's how important the pineal gland is. It colors our reality. And as we go through paradigm shifts, it changes the lens and we see the world completely different than we did before. Right now, that world is being created by mankind because of mankind and the greed that went along with that. Because nature doesn't work that way. Nature works on our ability to work together. That doesn't mean there's not going to be conflict. There's always conflict in nature, but nature is always seeking balance, and that's the conflict. We are going through the same process right now. As we are shifting and our energies are being manipulated by the media and the pandemic that is going around with this virus, which is the diversion anytime in the military. They always use diversion. Always use diversion. And who controls that? It starts with a B and it ends in A-N-K. The bank. They control it all. Do you know, when it comes to war, which I believe this is on the very edge of World War III. And World War III is what we're experiencing right now. And we're just in the tip of it. And you can't see it. And while they've got us focused on something else, they're draining our pensions, our wealth. They're draining their wealth. Our wealth has nothing to do with that system. We are part of it and we live in it, yes. And it's hard to get away from it, but there's a giant reset coming up. And it's going to be bigger than anything in the history of the world because we have a world currency now. And we have the ability, or they have the ability, to communicate to the world instantly. So people aren't getting it a week later, they're getting it right now. And it is the greatest way to cause panic in anything. So during the wars, banks finance all sides, which means they can enter without fear any country that's at war because they're financing both sides. And what most people don't know is during the conflict, they're going in and they're stealing the land, the priceless paintings, the parks, the statues, the history, the everything. They're taking the money. They're raping everything. They've always done it, and they probably always will. But that's not our wealth. Our wealth is our health, and our wealth is the land we stand on. Don't even have to own it. And that is where we find our balance and our strength, is in the land. The manipulation of humanity has never changed. And it's not going to. Because as humans, evidently that's what we do. And I don't know that we can stop it, but we can step away from it. We can back away from it and start taking care of ourselves, building not just online communities, because that can be taken away from us. When you build a community right where you are, and it doesn't have to be many, it can be 20 or 30 people. It could even be 10 people that are like-minded, that understand the land, that understand we don't need scientific proof that a seed will germinate, which is a word made up by man. Plants have been growing since the beginning of time, but we'd like to label things. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it helps guide us through our day. But then when it starts to fall apart, where do we go? Well, we have only one place to go, and that's the natural place for us to be, and that's nature. And nature can be cruel, I'll admit. You get out, these communities that have been built around the world by technology, by the modern advances that we have, as great as they come at a cost. And our leaders are so paranoid, they're locked in bulletproof cars and buildings with bulletproof windows, and you can't even carry a pair of nail clippers in some of these buildings anymore. And all the people have tasers and clubs and guns and handcuffs and automatic weapons and all this bullshit that we walk into, and they want to make sure that we don't have a pair of nail clippers because we're a threat. And they're living in gated communities. And I don't know about you, but anybody I've known that lived in a gated community over time is so paranoid of the public, they hardly dare to go outside. And we, the people, are not the threat. The people don't start wars. No, our leaders do. And why do they do it? Fear, panic, control, to make you do what they want to do by scaring the ever-loving shit out of you. That's what's going on. And we need to stay above that with breath work, with meditation, getting in touch with the land, growing our own food. And it's going to be tough because not many people know how to do that anymore. So I will be doing videos on that as well as we come up on, you know, if you buy lettuce at the store and you cut that butt piece off and you put 3 toothpicks in that and put it in a glass of water, it will root and you can grow more celery. Huh? These guys telling you that? No. So everything in this system that's crumbling and collapsing right now, and it has to crumble and collapse for a new world to emerge, and that's what we're going through, is the pains and the anxiety of that, because they're trying to save it, and I don't know if it can be saved. Now, they've saved it many times before, so who knows, they could, but we're going to be stepping into a different world. It's going to have all new laws, it's going to have all new regulations, new restrictions. It'll probably have new money, and I think that's part of the reason they're draining the wealth, is they're going to give us money at the end, new money, not the same currency we had, and it'll be based on what you have left, the money you have left. So, being a former businessman myself, I know some of the things about business because people actually ask me to incorporate that in my business, which I refuse to do. I believe in people. I believe in an honest day's pay for an honest day's work. I don't believe in scamming people. 19 years I had my company. Only one time did I have anybody bounce a check on me. I never had an issue. I tried to be as honest as I could. I gave people as much as I could for what I had, and I was not an inexpensive sign painter. You know, I was one of the most expensive in the area. But I have signs from 25 years ago, hand-carved gold leaf, that are still on people's buildings. Now you factor what that cost and the advertising gave them for 25 years, that's pretty inexpensive. So this whole world, man-made world, humanity, is based on scarcity. It's based on you not having enough. And they make damn sure that you don't. and it's going to continue. And the thing is not to panic while it's happening, because it was all a plan from the beginning. Taking the pensions was planned in. I remember in Millinocket, Maine, and I grew up in Orono, which is about 60 miles from there, and a lot of people I knew worked at the mills. I worked at one of the mills, actually. 1,200 employees. That mill had been there, I think, since the 1800s. And during the power takeover of all these companies would come in and buy these mills. And the very first thing they would do is take half the pension plan, because when they bought the mill, they had a right to half. That's your 401ks. This was years ago. And the mills, they would strip out equipment, they would lay people off, and they would sell that equipment, and then they'd sell it to the next bidder. And they would take half the pension. What was left, the other half that was left, they'd take half of that. And they'd take some equipment, they'd lay some people off, and they'd sell the mill. And the next person in would take half of what was left of the pensions, until there were no pensions left. Or it wasn't worth the companies buying, because the mills had been totally harvested for greed and profit. Because they don't care about the people. Well, we do. We care about us. And it's time for us to stand up and go, no more. I'm not falling for your crap, and I'm turning off the media. Is this virus real? Yeah, damn straight it is. And it's targeting the elderly, who are the biggest liability of all those companies out there that are afraid they're going to lose a dime. They created it, and we helped them build it, and now it's time to cut the chain and start hiring robots, or buying robots, and have them do the work. So the whole point of a company is to eliminate its liabilities and increase its profit. Well, with the 2 billion baby boomers around the world, right here in America, 10,000 people a day are turning 65. And if that's where the pension plans are and people are going to start drawing, it's not going to be pretty. So it's time for us to take control of our lives, our emotions, our energy, and to realize that we have that power, because we do have that power. You know, the nature works on abundance, not scarcity. The only people that are going hungry are the ones who created the system. Not all of us. There are plenty that have money, but it's starting to be drained right now. There's like 50 people in the world that control half of the world's money. I'm not talking the nation, I'm talking the world. And that's what we're all chasing, instead of our freedom. We're giving it up to these guys because they know exactly how to create panic in crowds. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. And again, I'll go back to the wars. They financed every side. They'd go in and steal, rape, pillage, whatever they wanted to do, and the people didn't do anything because they were financing them. Same thing's going on right now, because that's how diversion, that's how everything like that works. It's crazy, I know, but it's that simple. Create a diversion that is so powerful, and you focus on that. while you're robbing people blind in the background. But that's not our wealth. Our wealth is here and here. It's in the land, it's in the air, it's in the water. You know, the paper I wrote yesterday, or I don't know, I might have published that this morning. If water running down rocks can dissolve them over years, why aren't we taught to drink water? Because any stone or any tightness or any density in the body, the water will do the same thing inside us that it's doing to the rocks. It'll dissolve that stuff and flush it out. That's how powerful water is. We are water. Everything is water. It is life. And the oxygen is life. Money's not life. Control of the people, that's not life. People that are happy, you don't have to control. They just live their lives. Tribes have been doing it for thousands of years. And when, this is something else I think about this morning. For years I've been pulling people into the cities, getting them in tighter and tighter and tighter groups. So the population in that area is growing. And when it gets too dense, what happens? Disease. We're not supposed to be that close together. Now they get this 6 foot apart rule. I mean, I get what they're doing. But let's just take nature. And we all know, like, raccoons, right? In neighborhoods. They grow and they grow and they grow, and their population gets to a certain size, and all of a sudden disease starts spreading through the raccoons. And it knocks down their population, and they start growing again. Sound familiar? This is not a natural process, though. This is a man-made process. And I don't believe that that virus escaped from China. I believe it was part of the process that they've been talking about for years. But we still have to stay above that chaos. It's all speculation. Your body's not speculation. Nature is not speculation. We're standing in it. Abundance is not speculation. It is really crazy out there. Every word, every thought sends an electromagnetic signature to every cell in your body. Physically, chemically, and emotionally. Okay? Every cell, it sends an electromagnetic impulse, signal, to every cell in your body. And your body responds to that. And if you don't know how to control this center to be balanced, it doesn't take hardly anything to pull you off center, because you're already off center. And if you're already off center, they just keep nudging over a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more by repeating the same words over and over and over again, like weapons of mass destruction. There were no weapons of mass destruction. That was all a lie. And we've been in war ever since. Well, I believe this is the world war right here. I believe we are on the edge of what is known as, except there's no enemy. Well, the virus, but they know how to control that. All they know how to tell us to do is stay 6 feet apart. Okay? And when you go to the store, grocery stores today, they're opening later. The first hour is for senior citizens, and then it's open to the public. You know how crazy that is? Everything is being regulated. It's being manipulated to cause panic, stress, anxiety. And where does that live? It lives right up here, right? Right there. And what controls it? Breath. So the shorter your breath is, the more vulnerable you are to all this crap that's putting on TV. Because just like war, when they go to war, they start stealing the wealth of those nations. That's what's happening right now. They're just stealing everybody's wealth. They giveth and they taketh away when they want to. And right now is the beginning of this major issue that we're all facing. And it is up to us to keep ourselves safe, balanced, not pulled into the drama, which is not, I would say, an easy thing to do, but is definitely a thing to do. To take control of your own life. Understand that in all the years of science and agriculture, not one person can tell you how a seed opens and grows a plant. Take the bamboo plant. You plant the seed and you plant rows of them. That's the whole forest, let's say, right? And every single day you have to water every single seed individually. Every day. If you miss a day, the seed will not germinate. For 5 years. After 5 years, 2 leaves pop up out of the ground. Well, two leaves pop up out of the ground. 5 years of watering every day, 2 leaves pop out of the ground. In the next 6 months, that bamboo grows to 100 feet tall. Right now, we are that seed, and we're not being watered. It's up to us to do that. It always has been up to us to do that. We have to take care of ourselves. And if you can do it within a community, the strength of that community is priceless. So what they're doing right now is they're breaking up communities by forcing everybody to stay home. And many of the people that they're staying with, they don't even like. So there's stress there. And this is all just part of the plan as far as I'm concerned. And I could be wrong, but I highly doubt it. From what I've been watching and seeing throughout my life, they have plans. We have a hard time planning a vacation that's coming up in a month. They plan 100 years in advance how they're going to steer the world and what it's going to do. So 100 years ago, they were actually working on what's going on right now. They were planning it all those years, and they were putting it into practice slowly, 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 so nobody would catch on and nobody would panic. That's how powerful these people are. It's insane. But they know how to open our emotional receptors in our body, which comes through that aura, right? Because it's weak, and it'll come right through and it'll go right into us. But when our aura is strong, we hear the crap. We hear the BS that they're telling us. And you do that through breath work, qigong, hydration, and nutrition. It will wake you up. And it will do it every single time. Nature cannot lie to you, and neither can your body. It's the only thing that cannot lie to you. If you're sick, there's a reason. And you're not going to find out in the AMA because, as we said yesterday, they don't treat cause, they treat effects. And they treat those effects through your life until you pass, or if you're lucky enough and your body is strong enough, it figures it out and it fixes it. But it doesn't have all they know how to do is suppress pain. That's it. And right now, they're suppressing us with the economical meltdown. They're suppressing us with the coronavirus. They're suppressing us with the news. It's endless. And that's why it's so hard to get away from. That's why we need to turn it off. I could turn around right here, right where I am, right here. And you know what you're going to see? Nothing. You're going to see nature. You're going to see backyards. I don't know if you can see this guy or not. There's a guy right over there on that roof. He's right there, right off the end of my finger, right there. And he's fixing a roof. There's people over here talking, going to the church. I'm out here doing a video. It's dogs, people are taking their dogs for a walk. It's an everyday thing. And we are being so misled and so influenced by what's going on, we're forgetting that vibrationally, we are above all humanity as far as like what they have created, because it's not real. It can't sustain itself. There was never a time that it could. And this is not the first time that this has happened. First time it's happened globally, because you used to be able to escape from a country and go to another one. Well, they're all pretty much involved right now. And technology is what did that. You know, and another thing, are you hiding behind your story? Many of us have devastating stories. And believe me, it's going to be difficult to maintain our balance, but we can do it if we practice breath work, hydration, meditation, and nutrition, grounding into the earth. These are all basic things that every animal does without knowing it. And we are not doing it because we don't know. That's the difference between the man-made world and the natural world. Everything they do, they don't even know they're doing. They're just doing it because that's who they are. You know, no deer is waiting to be president. No bear wants to run for Congress. They're deer. They're bear. So this thinking part right here has gotten us in so much trouble because we've left our natural way of living for a synthetic way of living, just like synthetic drugs and synthetic radioactive iodine and all this stuff. It's all made up. It's not natural. And the reason that they're not doing natural is they can't patent it. So the only way to make it work is to take that, or take a product and give it that label that's natural and sell it to you and not let you know that it's synthetic. Well, we're finding all that stuff out now. So when I say you hiding behind your story, you know, we all have devastating things and trauma and all this stuff that's going on. And it leaves us not knowing what to do. It leaves us in flux, in doubt, and that's what it's all designed to do. But turn to nature. Nature, it's not even a measurable thing how much more powerful nature is than humanity. The brightest, the greatest have never lived for an eternity. Yet we have eternal genes in us. I don't know if you know that or not, but we do have genes in our bodies that are eternal. We just don't know how to turn them on. So I'm going to give you little bits of information of things that are coming into me so that I'm not the one pulling you off balance. Stay balanced. stay focused. Do your breath work. Turn off the TV. Put on your favorite music. Dance around the house. Look outside and see what you see. There's cars going by. There's, like I said, people walking dogs. There's a guy over there working on the roof. This has all been made as an illusion. And because it was made as an illusion, it couldn't help but fall apart, because it's done on greed, not compromise. And I'm going to try and do more than one video a day for a while and see what happens. I just noticed I just charged my battery, but it says it's low. So I just want to go back over that one thing. Every word, every thought sends an electromagnetic signature to every cell in your body. But you control that electromagnetic signature. It's just nobody's telling you that. But you have the power to change everything that you see. When you change your words, you change the electromagnetic signature going to the cells, which is what's going on right now through the media. They're changing the electromagnetic signature in your cells that are causing stress, panic, anxiety, not knowing what to do. And through breath work and the other things that we talk about here, you are reversing that, and you are strengthening your cells, because you're turning off the chemicals the brain would produce. Because you're turning off the chemicals the brain would produce to cause that panic. And through the breath work, you eliminate it chemically, right here, right from here. These are temples of knowledge. And what goes in here and what we see is a pituitary experience. I mean, a pineal gland experience. It's producing chemicals. And that's why meditation is so powerful. And getting in alignment, opening up that channel for the thread to come down through from the sun to the earth. That's our power. Not, I control 50,000 people. Yeah, that's power, but those people walk away anytime they want to. And that's what we need to do. We need to walk away from the system. And is it going to be easy? No. No, it's not going to be easy at all. But that doesn't mean we can't do it. Look at what we've accomplished, what we've built. When you look around the world at some of the buildings and some of the things, it's incredible what we've been able to produce. And we can do it again, only we can do it simpler and much more friendly to the earth, because as the earth's energies are changing, as the earth is going through the new electromagnetic field, it's increasing. And because of the density of our tissue, it's having a hard time traveling through, and it's causing dis-ease in the body, and it's causing it in many different areas because it depends on where the congestion is in your body. So I think I'm going to leave this right here. I'm going to try to do another video this afternoon. I go and charge my phone. I'm getting a low battery here a couple of times. So I love you guys. Stay safe. Focused on breath work. Focused on balance. Focused on community. And it's hard to build a community right now. I admit. But they're there. And right now, 50 people can be together. Well, if you've got 10, 12 people that you can really stay in touch with, face to face, and I don't care if they stay 6 feet apart, I don't care if they 10 feet apart. As long as you can see each other. Another great thing is a fire pit. And then you can sit 10 feet apart around the fire pit, and you can talk back and forth to each other, and run ideas off each other, and talk about how things are going to develop in the future for you in your best interest. What you're hearing on the news or the media is your future and how it's falling apart. And if you follow that, your energy will go down with it. No, we want our energy to climb. As this is falling, which is naturally has to do, the universe creates everything the way it is supposed to be. And the way it's supposed to be right now is this system is crumbling while this system is rising. Like the great phoenix, right? One system crashes, another one evolves. That's what we need to focus on. The improvement of the system that's going to take place of this one. So it isn't going to be long. We're going to be in we're already in a completely different world, but it'll be more and more obvious as time goes by, because this thing is far from over. And we'll talk about how long I think this is going to last. Not being locked in our homes. I'm talking about the economic situation, how long it's going to last. So, I love you guys. Thank you for joining me here. Bring other people in. Share this video with anybody you can. But stay focused, stay centered, stay balanced. Watch videos from Joe Dispenza and Terence McKenna and Alan Watts, and there's so many great ones. I'll list a few in the thing, and go listen to their stuff, because they knew this years ago and they understood it years ago. Robert Kiyosaki's another great one. So I'll list a few names, and go check out their videos. I have a video that I'm going to post with this, and it's from Joe Dispenza, and it addresses a lot of what's going on right now, and the love within us as we open, right? It will shift. Remember, it's always the darkest before the light. You must never forget that. It's so important to understand. It's always the darkest before the light. And we will come out on top of this. All right? Again, all right, I'm leaving this time. Love you guys. I'll talk to you in a while.